Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome back to What's in the Bag, Jay. This is where I pick 6 movies from my collection that I haven't seen, write their names on a piece of paper, throw them in the bag, draw one at random, and do a review. Not only if you guys have noticed, but I've been putting Blu-rays in. I will also be putting VHS in. It's just I figured a good mix of media will be fun. Okay, returning from last week is Stalked. Night of the Animated Dead. Witches in the Woods. Fields of the Dead. The Unholy. And making its debut this week is Ghosts That Still Walk. Alright, I'm going to give the bag a good tussle and we're going to see what we're going to watch this week. Alright, let's see what we got here. We have The Unholy. Now I'm going to set this aside while I set all the other films side by side, and take my trusty Freddy vs. Jason die, and we're going to see what comes back next week. Just remember, if I roll a Freddy vs. Jason or a 5, they all come back. Two. Alright. Let's give the bag another good tussle, and we're going to see what gets picked to come back next week. And I dropped it. Alright, the first one that's coming back next week is Night of the Animated Dead. Second movie that's coming back next week is Fields of the Dead. Now, if you want to see me review Witches in the Woods, Stalked, or Ghosts That Still Walk, definitely vote, and I will bring them back. But right now, I'm going to go watch The Unholy and come back with a review later. Well, I'm back. I just watched The Unholy, and here are my thoughts. The Unholy is a 2021 film which runs approximately 99 minutes and is written and directed by Evan. Actually, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. He didn't have anything to his credit. This is a first-time director. This stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Jerry Fenn. He was in The Resident, Rampage, and The Walking Dead. Cricket Brown as Alice. She was in Dukeland, a bunch of shorts, and one television show. And William Sadler as Father Hagen. He was in Trespass, which I love that movie. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, also love that one. And The Shawshank Redemption, which is fantastic. Now, this is based on a novel by James Herbert, and the worldwide gross for this film was $30,830,440. Okay. This film takes place, or is supposed to take place, in Banfield, Massachusetts. It starts you out in the mid-1800s, where you have a woman named Mary who is supposed to be in league with Satan. So the townspeople round her up, and they put a spiked mask on her face and kind of bang it in there. Kind of like if you guys have ever seen Black Sunday, they did the same thing to Barbara Steele in that one. Although she was accused of being a witch, and in this one, she's just accused of being in league with Satan. It's up for interpretation, I guess. So they burn her and they hang her from a tree. Now we're talking about present time, and we catch up with our leading character, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Jerry Fenn, who used to be a world-renowned journalist. He got accused of making up stories, and basically his name was mud in the industry. The paper he's working for now is a huge step down, and he goes to investigate a cow in Mansfield, Massachusetts, who was supposedly had something to do with, there was a Satanist group that was doing something to the cow. Well, it turns out that it was all a hoax, but while he was there, he actually found the tree where this witch was hung. Right next to it just happens to be a church. He goes over to the tree because he sees something catching his eye, where he finds a Kern doll. Now, Kern dolls are used for many reasons. They can also trap spirits in them, and that's what they did to this girl, Mary. They trapped her spirit in a Kern doll, put chains around her, and put it in the tree that they hung her on. He's goofing off. He actually crushes the Kern doll, releasing the soul of Mary. So then you have your other lead character, which is Alice. Now, Alice is Father Hagen's niece, which of course is right next door to this tree. And she is actually deaf and mute. She has never spoken a word in her life, and she only understands sign language. She's not dumb, she's just deaf and mute. She goes over to this tree, and all of a sudden she's able to speak a word. And actually she speaks several words. And all of these miracles seem to happen by this tree, so it's gaining public attention from everywhere, which is good for the journalist because he is the only one that Alice will talk to. I'm going to leave it there. There's definitely more to the story, but I'm going to leave it there. This is one of those movies that I wasn't really expecting anything from because this movie got trashed by everyone. And I think it's kind of funny because the only people I actually heard that liked this film were Craig, and most of you who know me know Craig, and his daughter Lily. Basically, the only two people I ever heard say anything good about it. I actually really enjoyed this film. Maybe it was because I wasn't expecting much. Not really sure. Now, there is, in my opinion, an overuse of CGI in this film. That's, when it's used, I don't really like it in horror movies, but sometimes it's okay, I guess, when they're doing kind of like monster sort of things. And that's when it was used here. Was it overused? I don't think so. I mean, maybe a little. But I really enjoyed the story to it. Now, one thing that did irritate me, a major con I had for the film, and it took me out of it for a few minutes. But when Alice was able to speak a word, she, of course, is staying with her uncle in the church. The uncle comes by the very next day after all this happened, and he's walking into her room and asking her if she's seen where he put this, that, and the other thing. First of all, the girl is 20-some years old. He's raised her since her parents died when she was younger. You're not going to think that she's going to automatically hear you or be able to talk to you. So I called bullcrap on that one. I mean, even now, we lost Frankie in April. Even now, I still look down because I forget he's not there. So things in your life become habits, and that one bothered me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's a nitpick, but it just bothered me. Other than that, I actually liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. For a PG-13 horror film, I thought they did a pretty good job. This is where the CGI comes in, if you can see Mary right there. You kind of get what they were going for, the whole spiritual sort of thing. Now, do I recommend this film? I think you should definitely give it a shot. There are some people who are not going to like it. Apparently, most of the people don't like it. I really don't understand why. It's not a great movie, but it's definitely not as bad as people painted it out to be. That's just my opinion. People have a tendency to do that in order to get views and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of bothers me. But more than that, it destroys the credibility of other YouTubers. I know a lot of people have accused me of liking things, liking just about everything. I am able to give a pass to horror more than any other genre of movies. It's because I genuinely love horror films. It's got to really shit the bed in order for me not to like a horror film. So maybe I do like a lot of things, but I think the credibility is destroyed when somebody comes out and just outs it as being complete and utter garbage. I just don't buy it. So that's just me. I'll step down from my soapbox now. Don't forget to vote for the ones that didn't make it. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.